Hey, what's going on, everybody? Norton over at Norton Studios. Coming at you with a quick video to cover a little app that I just finished and blasted out there on Google Play. iOS would be coming soon once I buy a developer account. There's a web version, and I believe I just finished uploading to Amazon store, and some other stores are coming as well. So, Magic the Gathering was a game that I remember playing when I was a kid, and I've been playing it off and on for quite a while. A lot of my friends now, you know, from back then, moved out of state, all that good stuff. So, a lot of times now we play, and I'm sure other people mostly play on digitally, on the Xbox or online, other, various outlets and stuff like that. But I was out in Chicago over Thanksgiving vacation playing with my buddy, and I think it was the first time he played in person. And we were looking up apps and stuff like that for just, basic life counters. And then we found a few. Some had some features, some had others. We started kicking around some ideas of our own for some other, features that we keep in other games. For instance, win-loss records from 5 years ago when I visited town or something like that, or even lifetime records to see, since he was a beginner. When we started, I was just kicking his ass all the time. And over time, you could see he got better and better until eventually we were even. And we'd get into those modes where you would lose and it's time to take a break so I can edit out 5 cards in my deck and replace them, and then that kind of thing. Or you're playing and your first draw you have no land, and so that'll piss you off. So I had an idea to make an app. I didn't know if I could do it. I've never actually published an app before, but I started writing it with some ideas, and I eventually got around to figuring it all out. So here it is. It is on Google Play right now. It's going to be on iOS soon. It's on Amazon App Store. Obviously, I don't really use Apple devices, so I have to get a lot more stuff for that. And then also on my website. And I'll just click into it, and this is my website version. So we'll cover some basic options. It's just sound on and off right now. The timed game structure, I'm going to build some unique rules around that I haven't really seen anywhere. And I've been kicking around some ideas with my buddy. Basically, you take Magic, and for example, you just merge it with another card game, their set of rules, and you come up with a new set of rules that would establish what actually winning means. It'll change from the basic, wins and losses, or we played 10 times and I beat you 6, so my win loss is 6-4. But rather, okay, you go by how much damage is done. You go by the timer, how fast you can play. How slow you are may uh, cause you to lose, some kind of points or something like that. So that's what I'm going to add into it. And it's going to be something like, you know, here's a rule list. Use it if you want to. And not only that, but some other things as well, like deck themes. If you're playing with a bunch of friends and you want to change it up or mix it up, and you have a good library of cards, I want to build some kind of theme structure to where, okay, everybody takes a turn, and the app will do something for you to establish what kind of game you're playing. Some kind of different, change it up a little bit with Magic. Um, Also, there's going to be a login feature I hope to finish under the probably a paid version, if you will, because it's going to be using some of my website storage, and it harkens back to when I was talking about me and my buddy and I like to keep, you know, interesting statistics of like, oh, when I was out 5 years ago, you're just learning, how did we do versus what we compared to today, or just lifetime. I could say, oh, I beat you 100 times out of 150. You suck. And you just talk crap to each other. You know how friends are. So, um, features button. I'll go over this when I'm done. Let's jump into a session. So we have a dice roller to establish who gets to go first. Another option that I used to use is, you cut the deck in the middle to see who has the higher mana cost, but then you also know at that point what you have in the middle of your deck, which is fun in its own right. Custom tile sets, player one, if you have a red deck, here's kind of a red theme. If you have a white deck, I have the plains laid out in the background, a little field type of dealio, with, white text. Black is more themed towards swamps and that kind of thing. The text color I want to play with, black might look good here, but I want to make it black with a little glowing type structure so it's easier to be seen. Blue islands, that kind of thing. Green forests, and then back to red. Here we have little energy counters. Going through apps and whatnot, that is one thing I saw that was good to add when I was was finishing this up, because nowadays with the newer sets of Magic they introduced energy counters and that kind of thing, and that's just another counter to keep track of. Basic counters I don't have in here because I want to kind of define their icons based on their color. A red color is maybe a goblin or a dragon. White color would be a knight, or soldier. Swamps, zombies, or maybe vampires, bats, that kind of thing. Islands, hell, off the top of my head, elementals maybe, or drakes. And green, could be sporelings, could be elf, elven tokens. I kind of want to make something that's just not like, oh, tokens equals, that kind of thing. And it has a session history. This is basic between, just a session between when you open and close the app or the web session. It'll keep track of your wins and losses and your average damage. Now, this is just going to be the basic. This is the basic structure. This is going to be what expands on and eventually imports and writes to my website. The history, lifetimes, wins and losses, lifetime average damage, some other weird statistics, involving healing, or maybe quickest game won, games won with the least amount of turns, the most amount of turns, weird stuff that we can think of. That's what my buddy and I like to kind of keep track of. Session history, so pretty basic there. And you can see as you take some damage, player 1 took 2 damage. So player 2, did average damage of 2. And I think I have a 10-second timer to kind of feel out, each person's turn, because there's obviously not an end turn button here. There is an end turn button in the timed game version. And that actually controls the timer of, and of blah, blah, blah. But basically it fine-tunes the damage to like, oh, this is actually a turn, instead of me trying to guess, since I don't have an end turn button. I just don't want to force it on the screen because it's bigger. It's a bigger font, bigger sprite. So if player 1 did 5 damage, that should show up here, average damage 5. All that good stuff, and eventually someone will lose. And quickly, let me actually just make this a white. Let's make this a black color. Actually, let's go blue. Blue decks never win. What are you talking about? And so the player 2 won. He played a blue deck, he or she. And so the fonts and a lot of good stuff changes to blue. I could probably change the background border there to blue as well. And you got session history again. And then a little swirly graphic, and then you can play again. Everything resets. I'm probably going to add an option where you can change your default life if you want to. 20 is just the the default. If you want to play with 40 life or 60 life, that's just another set of house rules and stuff that changes up the game and makes it fun. So that covers the basic. It's basic app, life counter, all that good stuff. I'm going to add poison counters and stuff like that. More plans. I obviously got to add more players. That is a feature that will be requested, I'm sure. And again, the login to save your lifetime history, that's going to interplay with my website, so it's going to have some storage and maybe the free version or a paid version only, hopefully. If I can get some support on the app, I want to develop some more apps on Magic, like a learning app and that kind of thing. More improvements to visuals and icons, obviously. The black deck color, I want to add some more I need to fix that text to add some more glowingness to it. Blah 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 blah. Poison counters, I actually haven't used them in so long, but I will add those here. That is something I probably should play with again because it does make it a little fun. Have a complete snake deck or something like that. And some more ideas like a covered, maybe a random theme picker, that kind of thing would be cool. All right, cool. Thanks for checking this out. NortonSoftware.com, Norton Studios. And again, you can check this out on Google Play if you want to. Let's see. Where's this bad boy? Yeah, Google Play. It's on the App Store, on Amazon Apps. So cool. Thanks for checking out. Later.